Cash Flow Diary Podcast, episode 64.
Congratulations, you showed up. Give yourself a high five in celebration of your success. Welcome to the Cash Flow Diary, where new and experienced investors come to take confident action towards their goals. Your host is a family man, a real estate entrepreneur, investor, coach, and instructor. As a master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow 101 game, he's inspired many to begin their journey into creating cash flow for themselves and their family. And now, here he is to offer you the tools required to earn the income desired. Your cash flow coach, J. Massey.
Hey guys, and welcome. We're going to do some fun things over the next couple of episodes. As you guys know, we are almost done preparing for the book launch, book release, etc. And I'm having fun getting that together. Many of you may also, if you've connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, that type of place. And if you're not, you should just look us up. It's at Cashflow Diary. It's easy to find us there. And many of you have asked, hey, is there going to be an audiobook? I think I said this before, but I'm saying it again. Yes, the audiobook is being, I'm going through the process of learning what it takes to do an audiobook. And many of you have said, would you please, meaning me, do the voice? So I guess I'll be narrating the audiobook as well. And so in case you haven't heard enough of me in the podcast, guess what? You got an audiobook coming of the actual book, which is going pre-orders. Many of you have started to already receive your pre-order. Great. Excellent. Thank you. We have more books coming. They will be here soon. And what we're going to do right now, though, is that over the next few episodes, we're going to take you as if you were to one of our live events. As many of you know, I get the privilege of going around and speaking, etc. So you're going to get exposure to what it's like to be there over the next couple of episodes. And, hopefully, I think you're going to be able to learn a lot. Now, many of you, if you're listening for the first time, you want to go over to learninvestingnow.com and get your course, because right now we're talking a lot about raising private capital. So we've got an ebook there that's sitting there waiting for you, and then you're going to get some videos that come after that to help deepen that learning and understanding. It's some of you, you're like, okay, I'm done learning, I'm ready to begin earning. Perfect. So let's go. You're going to go over to begininvestingnow.com, and we've got cash flowing property already waiting for you. We call it our investor ready rentals, if you will. So we'll go over the process with you. One of our cash flow coaches will contact you so that you have the ability to understand everything that's going on there. Now, this episode and the next few episodes are going to be hyper specific about raising private capital. It's going to really go along. So if you are following along from the ebook from Learn Investing Now or the videos from learninvestingnow.com, it'll help you in understanding all of the information that we're going to be talking about over the next couple of episodes. And these are actual excerpts from the live event that I just did, which I think will be very, very beneficial for you. It'll be very, very timely. It should enlighten you a little bit as to the process and how to make things happen. So hopefully you enjoy it. I'm looking forward to hearing, all the positive things. And for those of you who are also wondering, the book, if you want to go ahead and get your pre-order done, you can text book, BOOK, to 949-682-3565. Again, that's 949-682-3565. The other thing is, for those of you who are international, you just want to see a video and try to understand a little bit more about who I am in the book, you can go over to cashflowdiary.com/book. And I think that would also help you as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a number of clips, if you will, or a number of sections of the actual live event. For those of you that are already in our membership, you probably have access to these already. You probably have not only the audio, but the video. And hopefully you're enjoying them there too. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say over these next few episodes. And let's get it started. For those of you who have purchased the book, by the way, thank you. Can't believe like I said, anyway, we're ordering more. That's all I'm saying. It's, oh man, where is that chapter? There is a chapter where all I do is talk about every mistake I've made. You might find that to be the most valuable one. Right? Yeah, that might be it. That might be chapter 3. And here's the thing. When I say every mistake I made, and we're talking orders of magnitudes. I have had transactions, I've had an individual, this is probably my largest one, where we had an individual embezzle around $800,000. Really? Why? Yeah. lot, and that's why I just put it in the book, because not too many people will stand up at the front of the room and tell you this is how badly I messed up. And I figured you'd find some value in that. Because I learned a ton in that process. You know some people, right? Guido, friends, you have no idea. And the story's in the book, and it has an interesting ending for that particular individual, and I'd just like to go on record saying that I didn't do it. And when you get to that point, you'll understand why I said I didn't do it. What's that? Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you can make mistakes. And I want you to, because that's the only way to learn. You learn by doing 3 things, and in this order. When you do them and learn to do them well, you're good. You must first learn to fail fast. Second, learn to fail forward. Then you learn to fail frequently. If you can do those 3 things, you can learn darn near anything. Fail fast, forward, and frequently. One of the things that I've been failing with, even though I don't think you've noticed it too much today, is our system on just figuring out how to take credit cards faster, because it takes way too stinking long. And I'm like, I've got to fail forward, fail fast frequently. Yes, I'm aware you can swipe the little cards, but it usually helps if you remember that little device that's sitting on your desk all the way at home. Yeah, it would help if you remembered that with you. Yeah, I've got the PayPal one, I've got the Intuit one, and anyway, details. They're not here. All I'm saying is, when you got to have a plan B, right? And you can't you can't learn and look good at the same time. And as soon as you get comfortable with that idea, you'll start learning a whole lot more. And failures help you get better. They help you to take that feedback so that you can make corrections along the way. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, you got questions. That's what it was. That's what started that. How did I get off topic? I saw lots of hands in the air. Everybody, not you yet, because I know you're ready. I can feel it. You are ready. He's like, I want that $100 bill. I got it. I want first, though, what I want to do is that I want to hear, because you've been talking, I hear there's a debate over here. I don't know if it'll be televised or not, but there's, so something's going on over here about the Profit Analysis Quadrant, and I want to have this out in the open, because if we can have it out in the open, we can all learn simultaneously. Who's got, let's start over here on this side, thank you, and it looks up, John up here has something that he would like us to all know / share. And just as a point of update, there are 2 books left. Go ahead.
Yes, John, Sacramento. Yeah, on the 4 quadrants, when you approach someone, do you put the 4 on the table, or you mentioned something about using 1 or a combination of 2?
What do you mean? Do I show them all of them?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay,
I have no problem with them showing them all of them. I want them to see how much money we are earning.
Okay.
Because if they're not comfortable with it, they're not the investor I'm looking for.
Okay. But do you give them the 12%?
Yeah, they see all of it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no need to not show it to them. It's part of it. They're asking how does this return get generated, and I show it to them. This is how, but you get this piece of it.
Oh, this. Okay.
You
that
get
was my
this
question.
piece of it.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. Anyone else over here before we're gonna swing over there? Because I said, oh, okay, cool. We got 2 mics. This is good. We are working it.
Hey, Nathan, Sacramento again.
Hi, Nate.
Can you have more than $1 million fund in an entity when you're working with a non-accredited investor, since there's that $1 million limit? Or do you have to set up a separate entity for each fund? And then also, if you already have an entity that you're doing real estate investing in, should you set up a completely separate entity for working with investors who are going to be providing private money?
Got it. Let's understand that that's a legal and securities question, as I'm neither a legal or a securities attorney. However, from a best practice standpoint, one, come back next month. Two, I want to keep liability separate when I'm mixing groups of investors. So that means I have a ton of bank accounts because that LLC was formed that is doing whatever private placement or crowdfunding deal, that's what it is for. The next LLC will be for something completely different. You say, but Jay, that $800 fee exists in California. I know, get over it. That's just, got to figure out a way to make it work because that's just part of the deal. I do not use any of my pre-existing entities as these new entities in that way at all. So I'm always and consistently at the top of Mark Kohler's #1 client list because I'm always creating a new entity every time. I'm always creating a new entity. So, and I'm keeping liability as separate as I possibly can. I do my best to try to have no more than a few $1 million worth of equity in any one of them. That's the idea.
And you fully fund it before you start?
Sorry?
You fully fund it with the full $1 million before you start doing deals?
No, you don't have to fully fund before you start doing the deals. There's what's called a best efforts raise. It's basically saying, look, we're going to shoot for $1 million, but if we don't get there, we're going to do this anyway.
And then can you add later, like if another one?
Adding later, okay, no problem. They can stay open, they can stay closed. This is why the securities attorneys becomes important. It's because there are ways to keep your funds open perpetually. This has been an accredited investor advantage for quite some time. And there are sometimes limitations to how long they can stay open. There are many variables to that equation, and you just got to there's no one silver bullet, I'm doing this once and I'm done. So if that's what you're trying to get to, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to redo this every time. Now you get used to the menu options, so it doesn't take you as long, but it's not going to be, okay, I got this one and I'm just always going to use this one and I'm going to pump all the money through this one. That's not going to work. You're going to be doing this over and over. This is why, that's why I have the relationship I do with Matt Sorensen and Mark Kohler. It's because it could be in a matter, inside of a month, we're probably talking to their office 3 or 4 times at least. I'm meeting with, I might see Matt Sorensen more than I see my own spouse occasionally, It depends on what we're doing. It's that serious. There's a lot of conversation. The attorney person, you're going to get to know them. You better like them because you're going to be talking to them a lot. If you don't like them, you start, well, you're going to have issues. Here? Oh, over there. Let's go over here first. We'll just go from side to side. Yes?
Thank you. Kind of in the same vein of entities, let's say somebody getting started, LLC is kind of what, is a vehicle to put stuff in and then, into a C Corp. Would you recommend somebody getting started, wholesale and fix and flip, starting a C Corp or better off an LLC, or is it?
Got it. All right, James, Mark Cole is going to have a lot of fun. You can tell him, Mark, you can say, Mark, Jay made them exactly ready just for you. Because I try to tell him all the time. It's like, and this is the challenge. When Mark comes to speak, you're going to come back and wondering, okay, so how do I sell this stuff? And how do I pitch it to investors? When I speak, it's always, okay, well, how do I do the technical legal paperwork? It happens all the time. We get each other's questions. It happens all the time. And it's just like, dude, we got to do something at the same time to make it, because it's just like, dude, we got to do something at the same time. So anyway, I leave that for y'all to figure out and make happen. All right. Make it right. Oh my God, stop. The answer to your question, for most people, the answer is going to be an S corporation, especially when you're wholesaling. Now, typically, you don't need multiple S corporations, which is great, and you rarely, if ever, need C corporations unless you're going to go public or you have some severe medical expenses issues. Again, double check with your attorney, but that's kind of where I'm starting from. But you're never, at least so far, I have never used in any sort of syndication or capital raise an S corporation. Never. It's always been usually an LLC. It could be an LP. It could be a GP, but most often it's been an LLC. Okay? There are different reasons for using each of those depending on which benefits you're choosing to give away or keep. Make sense? Okay, I'm gonna get your question, but I'm going over here first. Yes? Okay. Uh-oh. Here, I'm in trouble now.
Okay.
Bring it on.
Hi, I'm Raymond. I'm from Sacramento.
Hi, Raymond. He likes that.
Okay. So we were talking about this scenario here.
Yes.
Excluding this.
The 50. So you're going back to 50,000.
Up to the 50,000.
Yes.
And I'm saying, just from my understanding, I'm saying that I'm going to give $60,000 of depreciation for $50,000 in cash that I pass through to the seller.
Yes.
And the debate was that the $50,000 stayed around for something. And I thought that my scenario was correct.
Got it.
That the $50,000 passed through.
Got it. So and that's it. So you're just trying to figure out how to. You're basically what you're saying is, Jay, I need to know how to do a quadrant 2 deal with someone else's money. I just want to give them depreciation and keep the rest. Got it. Got it. No problem. Just randomly thinking. Got it. How? Yeah. Okay. If you've taken what class? Financial strategies class. Inside that class, actually, in any of my classes, it's the same good deal example. That's in the class. So when you download the workbook, there's an example called good deal. That good deal is an actual deal. Go figure, because I didn't want to go through the work of making something up. Here, this is easier. That deal, I attracted that person because of exactly what he just said. I gave them 100% of the depreciation. So instead of trying to give, and this is the key phrase, instead of trying to give a dollar amount of depreciation, you have to give them a percentage of the depreciation and figure out and work with their CPA to figure out what the dollar for dollar tax benefit is going to be. Because as we said over here, let me see if I can zip back to that. Yeah, that the challenge is it depends on their tax bracket how much that depreciation is worth. That's the challenge. And not everybody's treated the same from a tax perspective. Remember, so in this particular example, if their tax bracket is only 20%, does the dollar for dollar credit go up or down? Down. If their tax bracket is 50%, does the dollar for dollar credit go up or down? Up. So it's better to say I'm going to give you 50% of the depreciation, so that way you're really negotiating on that 1454 number, how much of that they get to use for their benefit. And then according to the creativity of their CPA, they can either then begin to try the accelerated depreciation, cost segregation, and all these other things to be able to ramp that number up as high as humanly possible. Does that make sense? So it's impossible for you to say a dollar amount. It's just impossible. You can't do it because there's just too many variables, and you're not qualified because you're not their CPA person. You don't understand their entire picture.
That makes sense to me, because at the end of the day, I'm giving the 50.
Yeah, you're still getting the $50,000. That's correct. You're getting the $50,000 in exchange for that. For me, it was $750. Either number. They're both good. Okay? And that's kind of where I'm coming from. So you can do that. Completely should do that. Back here, and then we'll come to you in a second. Yes?
Jason from Sacramento.
Hey, Jason.
Hi. Real quick, you had an acronym, or skill was an acronym, and you said something, and I didn't catch what it was.
I did?
Yeah.
Luck was the acronym.
No, you had another one for skill, I thought, but okay, that's fine.
No, don't have one for, maybe I should come up with one.
Okay, maybe you should. I thought you did.
Not
so,
yet.
what are the advantages and disadvantages of using the smaller lenders like you are, rather than going to a hard money cash lender, and then, and then what would be the minimum for someone to get in on an investment deal?
Well, okay. Minimums are what, I mean, you set them. My minimum today is obviously different than it used
No, but
to
how
be.
much, I mean, isn't there, at a certain point, wouldn't there be a diminished return for how much work you have to do to set up the numbers for all the different people, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, okay, got it. It depends on what system you're raising the capital under. Remember, with crowdfunding, the minimum could be $2,000. Okay. So that system is optimized for that. That doesn't mean you, in your deal, have to accept $2,000. Okay. The minimum is set by the promoter. Promoter being the name of the syndicator, or you in this case, who's actually putting the deal together. Okay, so the minimum is completely arbitrary. Now, many people will say, well, I have a $100,000 minimum. Okay, cool, I got 50 grand. All right. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. So the key thing to understand is minimums are most often completely arbitrary unless it is a prepackaged product that is being offered by Wall Street, usually in a REIT or something of that nature. Then those minimums are usually set in stone by prospectus, and there's no getting around it at all. So hopefully that kind of clears that up. Now, the major advantage, there is a huge, huge advantage when it comes to using private capital as opposed to bank money or loans or
No, absolutely, but
oh, okay, then maybe I missed.
the hard money lenders that you see on Craigslist or
Why would I not use those?
no, or why would you pick someone that you know rather than to help them or I mean as opposed to these people that you see that
Money's
just
a
have.
lot cheaper.
I'm missing something because you're asking me why would I choose. You're saying you would prefer to use the hard money lenders on Craigslist?
Yeah, someone I don't know. I mean, at least at first, till you start getting rolling. It's hard to call someone who's a family member, let's say, and be all, hey, give me money when they've heard that story before or not, whatever.
Mm.
You know?
Have you ever considered investing? No, I'm sorry. Anyway, my point is, it's usually easier money to get for most people, and most definitely cheaper, in most cases, and it's significantly more flexible. It's significantly more flexible. The person I'm talking about has never heard of things like points, or prepayment penalties, or escalating mortgages, or changing, I mean, where you have to use a program called T-value. If you don't know what that is, just flush it for later, okay? All of these things make it more complicated. I'm not saying you couldn't do all those things. I'm saying you're trying to get a deal done. And what you need is the access to the capital so that you can get the deal done. If you're more comfortable using the hard money, great, go for it. But they're not going to entertain the conversation about depreciation. They're only looking at usually quadrant 3 deals. That's all they're usually caring about is a quadrant 3 deal. That's all they usually want. Some of them will take quadrant 1 and quadrant 3, but they don't care about the others. You know, so it just gives you more options, whereas before, otherwise you wouldn't have those options available. So that's just been my case. I just don't, and I prefer to have more flexibility.
How do you change your sphere of influence to where you have things like the money lender? Let's say you're in a position where you don't know anybody.
No problem. Earlier today, we talked about a little name badge. And then you invite that person to come play cash flow. And you do that until you find the people you need. That's what I do. Still answer. Still doing it. Over here, or sorry, was that? Yeah, oh, there he is. I was like, where'd he go? Yes.
I'm Wayne. I'm from Antelope.
Hi, Wayne.
Back to entities.
Okay, back to entities. God, maybe I should go
Okay.
become a lawyer.
Well, no, you
I'm
won't.
joking.
It's what I found is most people don't know about other entities that are out there. They only know what's advertised, what they see on TV, or what they hear from other people that
Sure.
own businesses.
Sure.
And I found that a UA works really well here.
Who?
A UA in the state of California. What you don't know, you don't know.
What's a
Okay.
UA?
Unincorporated association.
Unincorporated sounds complicated, but all right.
It's very simple. It's you go.
How
to
does it deal with depreciation? This will end it for me right there. That's the only. Is it a pass-through entity?
It's well. Let me put it to you this way.
I'm listening.
Okay. As far as the class goes, this is my first time to any class. Okay.
Okay, understood.
Okay. So, as far as business goes.
Yeah, sure. That's
Business
fine.
entities.
That's fine.
Okay. It's legal in all 50 states.
Okay.
It's at the Secretary of State's office.
Sure.
And if it's structured properly, it's just as good as a corporation, but it's underneath corporate guidelines. It's
Okay.
just another entity.
So I got to do
That's-
941s. Got it.
And now you structure it the way you want instead of the state telling you how
Okay,
to
got it.
structure it.
I like
That's
that
the
fle-
difference between the
There's
two.
flexibility there. I can understand where you're coming from, but I still got to do 941s, 941s being payroll,
Sure.
and I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. But I hear you. And again, come back, talk to Mark Kohler, let me know what he says about what you just said, and then we'll talk. I don't know where the other microphone went. We have a distraction going on. Oh, yes.
Nathan, Sacramento.
Hi, Nathan.
Hey, again. Okay. Quick question. When you're marketing to the potential investors,
Oh, yes.
but you're meeting with them in the Starbucks or wherever,
Uh-huh.
are you proposing a specific property that you're using, or are you just going over the general concept?
Sorry. I'm laughing and I'm shaking my head because I spent a lot of time with Daryl and some others, and he's like, there it is. He knows the answer. I think he knows the answer. Okay. He's asking, when I go to present, and I've forgotten your name, I'm sorry. Kelly Joe. Yes. This is also, for you, important to understand. Do I have a particular property in mind? I don't need one. There have been times where I've had one, but I'm closing on concept, especially if I'm raising with a private placement memorandum, because this is what the company does. The least, excuse me, here we go. I don't think we've done this. That's why this question is coming up. Okay. Oh, that was crooked. All right. The least important thing, you have IMTD. First is the individual, individual. Then it's the marketplace. Then it's the team. Then it's the deal. The most interchangeable part is the deal. If you're solid here, you can have an intelligent conversation about who you are as an investor, who your company is as an investor. If you're solid about your marketplace, you can talk about it. If you're solid about who's on your team, you can talk about them. That's just what we do, and we're going to do it to this address and this address and this address. It should not be deal dependent if you're building a business. If you're just doing deals, then it's going to be very deal dependent. If you're building a business, it doesn't matter, right? A construction company doesn't go, all right, let's raise capital and build this one building, and that's it. They go, we build buildings of this kind and type with these people in this general area. That's what we do. You must therefore develop that same type of thing for your business. So I don't need a specific address. You don't need a specific deal. In fact, when you're meeting with them at Starbucks, I would strongly encourage you to not bring a specific address or a specific deal, because that's going to sway you in terms of listening and what it is that they really need, because your deal, all those shiny and sparkly and great, may not be what they need. And yes, you got to be able to have a business plan. It even doesn't have to be written. You just got to know what you do in order to make that happen. You just do that all the time with many different addresses. I've said it before. We provide clean, safe, affordable housing to people that need it when it matters most. You got that. That's clear. There's nothing nebulous about it. How do we do it? We typically find 100% vacant residential apartment buildings, rehab them. That's kind of what, oh, okay, I get that. The address is therefore irrelevant. That's what we do, okay? Here are the people we do it with. These are the marketplaces we do it in. Or we provide quick turn single-family houses to individuals who are figuring out how to get started in real estate, or who are too busy to build the team so that they can easily get started in real estate because they've already Fannie and Freddie'd out. They can't get any more loans for the government, so we provide the non-recourse loans either to their retirement plans or to them directly so that they can expand their portfolio. Oh, okay, I get that. That's what we do. Where we do that, irrelevant. What address, doesn't matter. That's what we do. And you've got to develop your business to the point to where you can do something very similar to what I just said. Okay? Next. Next, yes.
Clarification on depreciation. So,
It messes with everybody.
okay, so I'm the buyer. I'm using
You're the
somebody
buyer.
else's money. I'm the investor, I guess. Well, no, I'm the buyer. I'm the person that's buying, so I guess I'm in the investor buyer.
You're the
Okay.
realtor right now, and you're having trouble with the
No,
language.
no, I'm not the realtor right now. I'm not the realtor right now. I'm the buyer, and have somebody that is going to be my bank. So they're
Okay.
giving me their money, and so don't I get the depreciation? So if I'm putting improvements into it, so why would that be a benefit to them? Because isn't that a benefit to me?
Got it. Now I understand. The answer is yes. And you're like, that didn't help. I understand. And I'm going to fast forward through this again. Let's get back to each of the systems. Because what you just described is very common in terms of the confusion. Like, why are we even talking about the depreciation when they don't get that? Well, it depends on how you structured your deal. Remember, I said that you could easily give away any one or more parts of these. What you just described is what I call a quadrant 3 deal. It is you gave them 100% of quadrant 3, and you kept the other 3 quadrants for yourself. This is the most common arrangement. This is what banks do. Banks make all their money in quadrant 3. That's what they do. And they give to us, usually the buyer, quadrants 1, 2, and 4. What I'm saying is, if that doesn't work for your investor, you have more options. If that doesn't get you to the return you need, you have more options. If your investor there's not just about providing a return, there's a character to the return. It's not just about giving them money. Money in each of those quadrants is taxed differently. And that's part of the equation, is understanding that quadrant 3 is taxed. It's actually some of the highest tax, quadrant 1 being the highest tax. But it's quadrant 3 would be the highest tax money, especially if it's done outside of a retirement plan, because it becomes ordinary income.
So how do you give them the right to have the tax deduction?
What's that?
How do you give them the right for the depreciation expense?
Instead of making it a quadrant 3 deal, they become a member of the LLC in a various different way.
Oh,
That's all. So it's a technicality, but it's important that you and your entity formation person understands that. Instead of it being a promissory note. See, now we're talking about the tool with which we establish the agreement. Instead of it being a promissory note, it becomes an operating agreement inside of an LLC. And therefore, now they're entitled to certain different benefits because it's governed by the operating agreement and not the promissory note.
Right.
It's still paperwork at the end of the day.
So like if they don't have the money to fund the whole deal, but only half of the deal, then you would do it more like an LLC and maybe both.
I never said that. You could do it. You could put them all in quadrant 3. Say you needed $500,000 and you needed a technical loan for $500,000. You could create an LLC that all it does is loan you $500,000. And everybody in that LLC is in quadrant 3. Nothing wrong with doing that. It's paperwork, but your attorneys know, they love that. Do you see why Mark Kohler and Matt Sorensen and I spend a lot of time together now? Because we're having this conversation, how to structure and make this all work. And I've just done a lot of it, I guess.
What kind of costs are involved? I mean, you got to take that into account for every deal. That's
Correct.
a lot of
You do have to take that
expense
into every deal. And it's not just the formation account, it's also the operation. There's one thing just to get it started, there's another to keep it going. This is why I say words like CFO and VP of operations. It's because those are two different things. Those are costs you have to account for. This is why it's time to play a big girl game, right? It doesn't work so well when you play the small game. The bigger the game, the easier this becomes. That's why I asked you earlier, or the other day, which is easier, 26,000 or 50,000? I said neither, 500, right? That's what I mean. Play the bigger game. That's what you're doing. You're playing the bigger game. And it takes more responsibility, more upfront costs, more and more this, more that. That's why the team has to be there. That's exactly why. I couldn't do it on my own. I don't even try. I laugh at the fact that I thought I was going to do my own QuickBooks. I really do. Now, I thought I was going to do it so much, I bought QuickBooks twice in 2 consecutive years, never opened it. Because I was going to save money. That's what I was going to do. I mean, it makes no sense. So anyway, and any other, are we good? Nope, right up here. Yes.
My question is for Arturo from Sacramento. My question is for Wayne.
Wayne.
Do you still pay $800 for what you said?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea. I was going to think that. I was thinking about that too. Does it still have an $800 minimum for California?
It's $25 for 5 years.
Okay, cool. So that's fine.
But it has to be structured properly.
I understand.
So
I got that.
That's,
Can you use the same articles of incorporation that you would use for an LLC?
you could do it, but you have to make a few changes.
Yeah, there's going to be customization required. That's why I'm saying Mark Cole. Exactly. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
That's exactly why I'm saying that. Somebody else? Is it Herein? I probably messed that up.
Herein from Dublin.
Oh, I got it right. Woo!
We
Not
had a little
Ireland.
confusion on the depreciation. So
Hold on 1 second. How many questions have there been about depreciation? This is called a topic that should be talked about more, but isn't, because it's been a benefit that's always been there that most people just discount and throw away and never talk about. And now I'm teaching you to leverage it, and you're like, no one's ever done this. I got questions. But that's the whole point. It's all good. Yes?
So the question is, if someone is investing about 100,000,
Okay.
does he hold the promissory note with the verbiage of depreciation as a return?
Okay, got it. So you're saying you want to give them the depreciation, but you're trying to figure out how to secure their money? Is that your issue?
I mean, the money is still returnable, right? The money is still, you have to pay back the money, right?
The 100,000?
Uh-huh.
Do you want to pay it back?
So that's the question. When you offer 4.3 tax bracket, do you still have to pay back the 100,000 or not?
How is okay, here's the thing. It's totally customizable. Do you want to create a return of capital event or not? Does your deal support a return of capital event or not? There's nothing that says you have to give me my money back in 10 years unless you say that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's completely customizable. If you want the money to sit there the entire time, it sits there the entire time. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, the confusion I have is, let's say instead of tax break, if I want to use number 3,
Yes.
it is obviously it's in 5 years or 10 years or 1 year.
It's not obviously.
There is
no
I
obviously.
can take it back, right? That money in
Yeah,
1 year.
if you want to, if
yes.
it's your deal.
Right.
You can structure it any way you want to. The banks have customized and conditioned your brain to go, I've got to get that money back.
Right.
We talked to Tammy, and I said, Tammy, if I could write you a check for 50 grand a year, every year, when do you want me to stop writing the check? Her answer was, never.
Correct.
So when did I give her the money back?
Never.
Never. Because that's what she wanted.
Correct.
Make sense?
Yes.
Now, in that situation, that could totally be a quadrant 3 deal with an interest-only loan at 10% on 500,000. Now, I'm just making that up, but do you get my point?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to unless that's what you want to do. If your deal supports it, your deal supports it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay? You can do all kinds of things. This is why it takes advisors and so many people to put this stuff together. Now, mind you, I'm laying on you some of the most advanced stuff that I've done. Okay? If it's just like, I'm not quite there yet, totally understood. But this is why it's important. Because for those who have done deals right now, they're having epiphany moments going, okay, this is cool. Right? Yeah, they're like, I like it, keep going. All right? Anyone else? We good? Oh, one. Okay, Jazz. He did not hear me.
So just to clarify,
Yes.
piggybacking what he was saying, you kind of give them the option. Do you want me to pay you back the 100,000, or do you want me to keep do you want to keep making money off of that? And whatever you put in writing, then that's what it's going to be. If
That's
I
right.
borrow 100,000 from you,
Right.
then you want me to give you 100,000 back in 6 months, or do you want to keep on getting paid and getting paid and getting paid off of that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just going to correct a couple of things. One, that 6 month I have issue with because I just don't do it that long or short. And secondly, that's why I phrased the question as, when would you like me to stop writing the check? Because that's the benefit she begins to give up. So the question is, when would you like me to stop writing the check? I don't want you to ever stop. Sounds good to me. If she says, well, they're going to tell you, I need the money back in about 12 months. Oh, I need the money back. They're going to tell you, even when you say, when would you like me to stop writing the check? They're going to say, well, I need the money back on X number. Okay, cool. And then you begin to make adjustments, therefore. Make sense? So, remember I said, which piece of paper did you want? Whatever we agreed to, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay? That's what it is. That's why it's important. Up here?
This on?
Yeah.
Hi, Daryl from Vacaville.
Hey, Daryl.
So you have all these creative options for each investor, but when it comes to a few of them, but when it comes to a PPM, when everyone's investing, they're getting the same. They're all getting the same exact benefit based on how the PPM quadrants are set up for that PPM.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
That is it. And yeah, I wanted to answer his question. I knew that was coming, but I wanted to answer his question. Okay. So, remember how I said earlier, there's the crowdfunding thing, and there are ways to deal with unaccredited and accredited investors. That's usually done through a PPM or a POM or something of that nature, and this becomes the registration requirements and documents for the Regulation D exemptions and all this type of stuff. So it's a private placement or private offering memorandum. That's how people become a part of your private deal, i.e. not listed on the stock exchange, those types of things. It's very private. That's kind of where I'm coming from. So that's what he's saying. The PPM can only be designed, only be designed to maximize whatever you're trying to maximize. If you're trying to maximize quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, that's what the PPM does. And everyone in that PPM gets that same benefit. Okay, that's what he was saying. So it's just another layer of structure that you have to be aware of. But yeah, and this is where we're talking, $25,000, $30,000 just in legal setup. If that's the game you're going to play. But that's just what we're talking about. It's just, there's no, I can get mine done for 50 cents. No. This is not where you're going to the lowest cost denominator or cheapest bidder. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Ben from Sacramento.
Hi, Ben.
Hello. I'm a very practical person, and I just have a couple questions about this.
No problem.
The quadrant 1 appreciation, the investor who goes in with you on a deal and wants some quadrant 1, they're probably not going to get that till the property sells, right?
Or refinanced.
Or refinances, okay. If you have an LLC and you have several investors on this property, I know how income can pass through to their personal tax returns.
Correct.
Depreciation can pass through separately from the income.
Correct.
I know that's a question for Mark, but
well, yes,
here.
it is a question for Mark, but at the end of the day, the answer is yes. The depreciation can pass through ownership. Just because I own 50% of the company doesn't mean I get 50% of the depreciation unless it's otherwise stated. So I could say I own 50% of the company, but give you 100% of the depreciation. Yes.
Okay, so
that little thing.
Go on, didn't you?
You're like, oh my God. And that was the thing, when I got that, I lost my mind. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just started giving away the depreciation en masse because I don't need it.
So essentially, the investor who comes in, gives you some money, and just takes depreciation.
Yeah, you can
on
do
their
that.
K1, they just have a loss coming through every year.
Yes.
Okay.
Every year. all year.
It doesn't show up in a separate box or anything. It's just a loss.
It's just a loss.
Got it.
Thank
you so
much. Yes. So now you're talking to the person who's earning. Okay, let's use the doctor example because they're the easiest to identify, right? Not to point them out or anything, but you're a chiro, you got a doctor. So imagine you go to the business owner and say, what if you paid no taxes? Huh? How does that work? If you just got all your tax money back, would that help you? Yes. Cool. Well, here's the plan. First, you're going to help me with this 10 unit. Then you're going to help me with this 10 unit. Then you're going to help me with this 10 unit. And by the time we get there, we'll get done with your taxable liability. Yeah. They keep doing the adjustments like you've been doing. But now, all the money that you would have paid in taxes, you keep. Does he like you? Would you like me? Oh, yeah. It's not just yeah. That is the common response. It's, really? How come I've never heard about this? And I'm telling you, I have gone to some of the highest levels because I've been on the phone. Okay, so I've got Matt Sorensen, Mark Kohler over here because they understand. And I've got Rich Dad Advisors over here. I'm over here, got my investor in the middle, and we're educating them on what I just said. And they're like, yeah, I guess you can. We didn't know you could do it that way. Yeah. And I've gone back and forth hours and hours on the phone with attorneys and spending this money just so that people could get it. And I don't care. We go to bat now. It's easier now because we just got these processes in place to make it work. Because no one talks about it. No one. And here's the thing that really irritates me the most. When I have CPAs or attorneys in the room, they all go, oh yeah, you could do that. But that they've never thought about educating the very person that could use it. They're just like, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, that's old news. You could tell somebody. I'm like, that would be nice. But I'm like, oh, and they're like, well, you didn't ask. How would I know to ask? I mean, help a brother out. I'm trying here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was reading Mark's book. It's going to Matt's class. It's having experience in the marketplace, talking to my CFO, having my CFO and COO and my tax people sit in Mark's class. You guys, I could easily account for at least $100,000 of just of man hours and cost to get to the point to where I could make it that simple so that I could understand it and explain it to other people. And that's the thing. It's such a huge benefit. And the best part is the cash didn't come from the investment. It cost you no dollars. Zero of the cash flow. And it's money they already are earning. And it comes back to them because they don't have a way to grab it. They just watch it go away, wishing they could have it. You know how I've been laughing at this HR commercial. Get your billion back. Well, I know how to do it. Give them depreciation. It's one of the best benefits you can give away. Once you don't need it. You got to get yourself to a point where you don't need it, or you can give it away and you keep some and all this other stuff, but it's really cool once you get to the point where you don't need it, and then you draw this out and they see it, when they click and get it, and they look at their W-2, because they're doing that right now, when they look at the W-2 and they go, so you're saying that I can get that number back? Yeah, we'll just have to do a few hundred units over time. Okay. And now I've got them committed for multiple deals to build a plan so that their tax money just comes back to them. It's kind of cool. Wait. Okay, you had one more? Good God, what did I do? Ben, you did it. It's all your fault. Hold on, he had a follow-up question. We're doing good. I think. Let me see what else. Oh.
It was actually a follow-up statement.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I'm a CPA, and.
He's gonna get his flavor shoes.
That was only part of it.
I cannot believe you just did that.
I'm not that kind of CPA.
What?
I'm not that kind of CPA.
Oh, come on, man.
No, I did that because I didn't understand it,
But
right?
I'm
And
just
everybody comes to me and say, how do I pay 0 taxes? And I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm, pulling my hair out. Well, here I am, so.
Call me.
Thank you.
I got deals. See, did you see what just happened? Do you see what just happened? He's a CPA, I'm not. But we helped him in a way that he can now help his clients. He just became a better resource for all of his clients. Now, here's what I would do if I were you. I would get to know him and his clients. I was just going to say, Ben, you got a card? Yeah, right? Because
I got lots of them.
Get this. They're going to do what he tells them. And now that he understands this, when he explains it to them, you don't have to. Jesus, did you just not make money or what? And that's what I'm talking about. This has happened. You have no idea how many times this has happened when, thank you for self-identifying and admitting that you were CPA, by the way. You have no idea how many times this has happened. Over and over again. This is what I enjoy, because these are the little tweaks and things that unlocked doors for me. And now that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get this in there so that you can go, here's how you can use it.
In case you were wondering, in that last little section, what happened is after he said that he was a CPA, I left the room. I could not believe I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, really? Did you're a CPA? Awesome. And it was just important and fun to be in that room at that time. And hopefully you enjoyed that little bit. We're look forward to the next episode. We should have another one for you coming up on Thursday that'll continue more of this type of information to help you go out there and learn to raise capital. And if you want to accelerate that process, that's why learninvestingnow.com exists. And that's also for those of you who've already got the book or the ebook for that matter. You can go over to cashflowdiary.com/book or send a text message to book at 949-682-3565. When you get to step 9 of the 10 steps that are mentioned in the book is all about this particular section as well. Anyway, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys soon. Until next time.
Thank you for investing your time with Jay Massey and the Cash Flow Diary. When you have a moment, please visit iTunes and leave a positive comment about the show. And go now to our website, cashflowdiary.com, to take advantage of our free business building course, Cash Flow Foundation. Gain the knowledge, understanding, and skill that will teach you how to never need a job again. Until next time.